Hi, my name's Amanda, and this is Amanda Started a Podcast. This week, I think this is my 10th episode. I will celebrate episode 10 by giving you a beautiful gift of hearing my conversation with Blair. I feel like this conversation is super special. I really fucking love it. Blair as a person, as who she is, as like the friend she is in the world, the way she shows up as herself and she inspires me so much. And I really hope that this conversation inspires the people that it needs to, or like gets to the right ears, I guess. I'm really stoked for you to hear it. Blair is one of the most hardworking girly pops I know. I really loved chatting with her more about her career journey, but I love how it also kind of fits in with like her true passions in life. It's like another good conversation to understanding how like people get to where they're going and like how little tiny things like lead you along your way of like life, I guess. And I think it's really nice to have like this moment of reflection to look back and be like, oh my God, wait, like the reason all these things happened was because I did this thing and that led to this thing and blah, 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 blah. Blair and I even talk about in the episode how that's kind of like the whole thing with life. It leads you to the next thing that you're supposed to be doing. And sometimes you might feel like you're off track, but like really you're on track. You're on the path and it's like the journey of it all. Ever since I became friends with Blair, she's been super passionate about working in music. And it's just really cool to like have her on the podcast and kind of dive deeper into that. It's just really sick when you see someone that is so passionate about what they do with their time every day. And it's rooted in something deeper and being able to put on shows that like inspired her when she was younger to like be the best version of herself or be like accepted. And now she gets to do that for other people. It's really beautiful. So please enjoy this episode. I was thinking about this recently because I'm not sure if you know, like one of my like closest friends in Berlin, Manya, I fucking love her so much and she's so great. But I've also become really good friends with her boyfriend, Lewis, and I genuinely have an amazing friendship with him and he's so great. And we had a joke once about like friendship plus because we had a joke that me and him were like hooking up like at a party and we're like friends plus. But actually, I feel like it is friendship plus because I started this friendship with Manya, not knowing how amazing it would be. But then in addition to this best friend vibe with Manya, now I also have friendship plus with Lewis as like a sleeper hit friend that I didn't know I would have. Yes. But it's kind of like the same thing with you.
I agree.
Because obviously it's amazing that I have my very best friend that's the most amazing person in the world, a sleeper hit friend from you.
Yes.
So friendship plus. Same. I want to ask you, seeing how far you've come and like how much work you put into work, why did you want to get into music? And also obviously it's so admirable how far you've come, but like I want to hear just kind of like your story of how you ended up there.
Oh, geez. Okay. I think it all goes back to I grew up in like a very, very quiet suburb of New Jersey. There was not a lot going on.
Other than The Sopranos being filmed there.
Other than The Sopranos being filmed down the street for me, yeah. You can insert photo of Tony Soprano holding me as a child.
Yeah.
My older sister, she's 4 years older than me, she introduced me to a lot of my first like favorite bands, and this is probably the year is like 2003 2004. Blink-182 was really big, Newfound Glory was really big, Good Charlotte, Simple Plan. It was a lot of like skater punk weird emo stuff, and like My Chemical Romance was just kind of coming up, and they were from like the town over from us, so there was this local scene happening, and that was kind of like what you did in my town. That was what felt cool to me. There was a kid in my high school that would just like throw shows at our like local VFW halls. That's like where everyone went on the weekend. It wasn't like house party vibe. It was like, oh, are you going to the show? Yeah. And it would just be like a bunch of local bands, and that's kind of like where everyone would hang out. I don't know, I just like found this version of me in these like bands that I was listening to that I really liked and I think connected with. I remember getting into like the White Stripes. That was like the first CD I ever bought. I remember my mom driving me to FYE.
Yes.
At the mall,
yeah, of course.
Getting Elephant by the White Stripes and being like, oh my God, this is so sick. And I would sit in front of my mirror with my Walkman and play the record and just like sing lip sync to myself in the mirror. And then I started singing some of those songs like in front of my mom, and she was like, I don't like this band you're listening to. They're really scary. I was like, no, Mom,
But
they're cool.
But was she ever like, you should be a singer? Like, were you ever like, I want to be a musician?
No, it wasn't like that. I was an outgoing kid, but there was like an introvert side to me that I think I found like a safe space in music. And then I like got exposed to a lot of like heavier music. Like, I mean, there was like the emo thing going on, but there was like a punk community, a hardcore community in New Jersey as well, and like screamo music. And I kind of like latched onto that in a weird way, which like you'd never assume by looking at me, because I was just such like a little quiet, like rule following little kid. But then I would like go into my room and like blast like the Used box full of sharp objects, like thrashing my head around. And that was kind of just like my little like escape. I just loved it, and I just thought specifically like live music was so cool. And I remember going to my first show when I was a teenager, like first like ticketed show that wasn't like a local thing. In New York. I made my mom drive me.
Wait, what was it?
It was Mayday Parade, Power Space, which was real throwback if you've ever heard of Power Space, and another throwback band, We the Kings.
Oh my God.
And one more, they were called The Secret Handshake. This is, I want to say, like 2007, 2008.
Oh my God. Skyway Avenue just obviously played in my head.
And it was at the Knitting Factory. It used to be on Leonard Street, Lower East Side. Then they moved it to Brooklyn, but it was at the OG Knitting Factory, which is long gone now. My mom drove me and my friend in, and she sat across the street in Starbucks.
That's so funny,
so
because
we could go to the show.
I had a very similar experience in 2006. It was All Time Low and Boys Like Girls. Boys Like Girls.
Amazing.
And my mom came with me and my two friends. And one of their moms. So my mom wouldn't let us go alone.
Oh yeah.
So we like all took the train together. We went, and they had free condoms in the bathroom, and people were blowing them up and tying them and like hitting them around.
Oh yeah.
And my mom was like, "Do you know what those are?" And we were all like, "No."
That's how she has the sex talk with you. Which was cool too, because like, I don't know, I think a lot of it too is like having parents that like supported that. Like so many other kids, like parents would just be like, no, I'm not driving you into New York on like a random Wednesday night.
Yeah, but in a weird way, I mean, like you said, you found an escape, you found yourself a bit in music. So your mom obviously saw that.
Yeah, I think like instead of taking me to like a dance class or like gymnastics, like she knew I was like, music was my thing. I grew up very close to Giant Stadium, which is now MetLife Stadium. And they did a festival there every year called Bamboozle.
I went to Bamboozle.
Okay. Yeah, so I grew up like 10, 15 minutes away from that. And that was like...
Yeah, that was like everything.
Everyone who's anyone went to Bamboozle. It was like the big thing in middle school and high school. Like, are you going to Bamboozle this weekend? It was like our own little Warped Tour. Like Warped Tour was something that happened all across the country, but Bamboozle was very central to like New York, New Jersey, you know, the tri-state area. That was fun because I think that was the first time I was just like let loose. To kind of just like go and do my own thing. Like my parents would just drop me off and you'd be there all day long, just like seeing a ton of bands. I just never felt as passionate about anything as I did about bands and music and seeing bands.
When were you kind of like, this could be something that I want to get into? Like, were you thinking about it for college? Were you thinking about it like...
So I didn't really realize that like you could do this. Like friends that were my age, we weren't like, oh, we can make money off like booking bands or, you know, doing any of that. My older sister went to Syracuse University. I wanted to follow in her footsteps so bad. Like I already wanted to go to Syracuse.
That's
my
really
mom went to
cute.
Syracuse. Like,
oh, your mom went to Syracuse too? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so it was like very much in the family. But when I was looking, like maybe when I was like 14 or 15, because that's kind of when my sister went to college.
Yeah, so you must have gone.
I was just kind of like, I like visited her. I was like looking at, you know, the different things you could study at Syracuse.
Right.
They had just started this music business program at Syracuse, and I was like, oh my God, you can go to college for this? Like,
wow.
What do you learn? Like, what are the types of jobs that like come out of that? You realize that record labels exist,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
managers exist, and talent agents and promoters, and like there's this whole new world where I'm like, oh, I can like make this my job. So yeah, I kind of like made it my mission from, I think, the time I was like 15 to get into that program. And I didn't know like what was going to happen after that, but I was like, I need to go to school for that, and I need to go there. And it happened. I booked a bunch of shows in college.
Was that like a part of your program or something you decided you wanted to do?
That was just something I decided I wanted to do. Syracuse had a big programming board. It was like a student run, you know, concerts board thing that I got involved with like as soon as I got there. The school gave us a ridiculous amount of money to like book shows.
You're Mary Beth Barone in Overcompensating.
Exactly.
With Charlie XCX.
So yeah, the scene where she is like with the clipboard.
Yes.
Like, hi, Charlie. That was literally me in college. Escorting the talent to their dressing room. Yeah, no, that was totally me. And I loved it. The program I was in, you actually were required to intern every summer. They definitely helped you like just make connections, networking opportunities. But yeah, a lot of it was just like me coming back to Jersey and just cold emailing a bunch of companies that I thought would be cool. Still not really knowing what I wanted to do yet. So my freshman year, I came back and I interned for a company called The Bowery Presents, which is a promoter in New York. I think they promote shows now in a few different cities, but that was kind of like the big promoter in New York, indie promoter. And I started as a marketing intern there. Didn't really have to do with like a lot of like booking or anything.
I assume you had a few other internships.
Yes.
How did you kind of end up after school getting a full-time position?
I graduated, and for a few months I actually got this opportunity to go on tour with a band called the Struts.
Oh my God, you went on tour with the Struts?
Yes.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I was on their summer 2016 tour as like a PA / like social media intern. The director of my program was like friendly with the Struts manager, and I guess he reached out to him being like, hey, do you have any kids that just graduated that would be like good for this? My director knew I like really wanted to get into like live music and touring and all that.
Yeah.
He was like, I got this girl, like she's perfect. Yeah, I was like living on a tour bus. I was like the only girl on the tour.
Oh
there
my
was,
God.
like 12 dudes and me.
Oh my God.
And I was 21 or 22.
Are you guys like partying every night?
It was kind of wild because they're a bunch of like British dudes. I wouldn't say partying every night, but like
I was just more thinking like, what is tour like, especially for you as the only girl in this situation, just graduated from college.
Yeah, it was super scary.
Yeah.
And I think that whole experience taught me so much about just like taking chances and not overthinking.
Yeah.
Because I was so scared. Like, it was just so intimidating, and I had no idea what to expect because it's like, what is tour?
Yeah.
Like, you can tell someone they're going on tour, but it's like, what does that mean? Am I going to be miserable? Like, is my bunk on this tour bus going to be like so like awful, and I'm not going to be able to sleep, and like once I'm on this like train, I can't get off. You know, it's just so many things go through your head, and I'm like a classic overthinker. I have like decision paralysis. I still struggle with it. I'm sometimes so afraid of like making the wrong decision that like the right decision will pass me by.
Why do you think that any right decisions have passed you by? Where I'm sitting, looking at you now, I'm like, I think you made a lot of right decisions.
Nothing huge has happened where I feel like, oh, I totally should have done that. But for the most part, yes, I think every choice I've made has been good.
Has ended you here.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what I think this experience taught me. Like, maybe I was more like that in school when I was still like getting my feet under me and just like didn't really kind of know where to go. But after this experience of being like, okay, I'm just gonna let go and do this, like I can't pass up this opportunity. If it's terrible, it's terrible, but I'm sure I'll learn something. And it ended up being the best experience ever. Like, was so cool, so informative. Like, I still talk to those guys Everyone on the tour was just like the nicest. I got to like travel the country and see all these new things. After that, I was like, nothing can really stop me now.
Yeah, like I can do this.
I'm the only person in my own way. If I just say like yes to opportunities, everything will work out.
Other than that being obviously the biggest takeaway, what was like maybe the biggest like eye-opening moment learning about music in general, or the music industry?
I think it gave me like a really good perspective on what touring musicians deal with on a daily basis and what it actually means for like a band to tour the country. Just like the amount of hard work that bands go through to pack up their life every day and live out of a suitcase for 2 months just to make like a couple $100. It is not easy. There's a whole team. Like anytime you see a show, there's so many people behind the scenes that make that happen. Like if I didn't have that perspective, I think I wouldn't be as good as what I do.
Yeah.
So for context, I book shows. I'm a concert promoter in New York. I work for Live Nation.
So you have certain venues that you oversee.
Yes, yeah. I mainly book clubs, and by clubs, it's like 1,000 capacity venues in New York and New Jersey. Been with the company for almost 10 years, but I've been exclusively booking shows for like 5 years now.
From the struts, the tour's over. You're like, sick. I'm back in New Jersey. I know everything about touring. Yeah. What happens there?
Okay, yeah. So that ended, and then out of nowhere, I get a message from this girl that I went to school with, who I used to like book shows with at school, who was like, hey, there's an opening at Live Nation as like a booking assistant. I think you'd be really good at it. Do you want me to like connect you? Like that part of the story is so crazy.
That is crazy.
I know, because I feel like a lot of people are like, I hustled and I applied and I sent my resume to 1 million people and I did interviews. Like I didn't do that.
It just literally hit me in the face and I said yes.
But I will say, and I will toot my own horn here, I had so many close, amazing relationships.
Yeah.
Like throughout college.
Yeah.
And I didn't have enemies. I really like treated everyone I met with so much like kindness and respect. And I think people respected me because of that. And I was really good at like
forging relationships. Yeah. I completely agree. I think one of the most admirable parts of you as a person is like how not only kind you are, but really good at forging relationships and just like respecting people. I know that that's like, I think especially in New York too. And now like I know people from London, I know people from other places. It is so easy to be like kind of a sleazeball and try to network in a sleazy way. And like, what can you do for me vibes? Like, I don't care what you like completely disgenuine. Yes. And you literally care about people. You care about what they have to say. You care about their thoughts on stuff. Like, I don't think you've never come off as disingenuine to me ever once, because it's just not a part of your character.
I can't fake it either. Yeah. Like, I won't ever try to be friends with anyone just because I need something.
That's being said, you've also never been mean to someone that's your enemy or a dick. Like, even last night when Emma and I were both like, like, you're like, stop, don't say that. It's like no, I mean, like, I'll be the first one to say some shit, but like, you're not
my nature.
You know, not at all.
I think what's honestly like kept me going is like separating who I am and my like personal life from my job, because I think the entertainment business is full of a lot of like seedy individuals and egomaniacs.
I mean, some of the stories I've heard from you are insane.
Yeah, it's just there's some great people, but I think there's also a lot of people that get into the business for like their own
personal gain.
Personal gain, and like wanting to feel important, and just like so many different types of personalities to juggle at all times, which I think like I'm great at doing that. I can adapt to the situation very easily, and that's something I pride myself on. But I'm also like, when I leave work, I leave work. I don't define myself by the cool shit I do.
Yeah.
You know, and I think I never want to like lose who I am. I met a guy when I was in school, but he was the founder of the Fader magazine. John Cohen, that was his name. I met him through some like networking thing. I think maybe it was like CMJ conference in New York. I don't know. I remember him telling me, you can succeed in business and still like be a good person. Like you don't need to change who you are. Yeah, you can be kind and still be amazing at your job, which seems like, yeah, duh, but I think in the entertainment industry, like there is that pressure of, oh, am I not going to be taken seriously if I'm like too soft? Or, like, especially being a female in like a male dominated industry, like are people going to just kind of like stomp all over me if I'm not like a bitch? Yeah. But I always like held that with me. I will never change my morals, and I'll always try my best to be a good person. And I think like that'll come back to me from the universe.
I mean, it literally did. You literally just said that's basically how you got
exactly.
Your, like,
and that kind of goes back to that. The first opportunity was like because this girl like
thought of me
and like liked me, and we had a good relationship, is kind of how I got into this world.
I mean, I think it goes without saying, but like I think you're also one of the hardest working people that I'm friends with, like genuinely, that I know. So it's like, not only did you get that amazing opportunity from being a great person, but then you also have worked your absolute dick off since.
Dick has been singed off my body. You can look up to someone and want to learn from them. Like, let's say there's just someone that you just aspire to be like. You can have that, but you're never going to be exactly like that person. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like the first example you have of like a successful person doing what you want to be doing.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like, oh, I should be doing exactly what they're doing.
Right.
And I did that for a while. And then I think that it kind of like happened around COVID, because when that happened, obviously the world shut down. We became
friends. So that's when your whole life turned upward spiral.
Exactly. That, and the world shut down. There was no more shows. Yeah. I got furloughed from my job. But that kind of allowed me time for the first time since in probably 5 years of just like go. I actually had a break. I'm now 28. And like, what am I doing? What just happened?
So you took the moment of being furloughed to be like, yo, who am I reflecting on this whole thing?
Huge reflection period of just like, what am I doing? Do I want to do this? Am I happy? Because I just was like putting my head down and like working so hard that I lost sight of like what I actually want to be doing. Because I was working for other people and I was just kind of like doing their things like for them. And I was really good at that. But I was like, wait, do I even want to work here? Like, do I want to be a promoter? What's going on? Yeah. Because again, it kind of was trippy that like I never applied for that job and got it, because then that made me doubt like, did I ever really want this, or did I just like get this opportunity and ran with it? Exactly. So that was like a super reflective time for me to kind of just step back and be like, okay, what's going on here?
And what was kind of like your takeaways? Obviously you still work there, but
yeah, the takeaway was I realized that like at the core of it, I was still like that kid who just like loved music. Yeah. And that never ever faded. That passion never waned. And I kind of had to like go back to that part of me, and I had time to do so because I just like wasn't working, living off of the government.
Making a killing off the government at the time.
Making thank you, Joe Biden. I kind of just started like listening to music again, listening to the music that I grew up on. I play guitar too, and I was just like doing a lot of that, just kind of like trying to find myself again in that. And I think I came out of COVID, like I just felt grounded again.
It's so interesting too though, because, and maybe we talked about this on Emma's podcast episode, like day of COVID lockdown, 3 days after my birthday, Your mom
Oh,
sent a car
yeah.
into the city and scooped you and got you the fuck out. And then
Yeah.
Emma didn't see you again for like months.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was crazy.
So not only did you get scooped away, you're in your childhood bedroom in New
Yes.
Jersey.
Mhm.
You're furloughed.
Yeah.
You're reconnecting with this version of you, the younger version of yourself that then helped you, reconnect to like
Oh, yeah.
why the reason you're doing the job
Yeah,
that
like
you're
my
even doing.
my Paramore poster is like still on the wall.
Like that's really crazy.
Yeah.
Also, that makes sense. It would be a grounding experience.
Yeah, and I felt guilty saying all of this for a period of time because, like, obviously COVID was, like, such a terrible time. But I came out of that being like, oh my God, thank God I had that time to reflect. 'Cause I think I would have burnt out. I don't know if I'd be doing
What you're doing.
as well now and what I'm doing and be happy if I didn't have that year and a half to be reflective and, like, find myself again.
Yeah. Being that we were into similar types of music and stuff growing up and being like what you said, being like, you find a part of you in this kind of community, like punk, emo-y, screamo vibe. When you say like felt like you were escaping like whatever small town you grew up in, what is it that you feel like you were escaping, or what made you feel like you found community or yourself in this scene?
That is a really interesting question. And I don't know if I have like pinpointed that. Going back to me saying like I grew up in this really small town, I'm gay. Emma, previous guest, my girlfriend, and I didn't know one gay person growing up.
Yeah, you didn't know a single gay person.
No. There was like one really like flamboyantly gay boy in my high school, but that was like all we really had, and it was just like not okay. It was like very scary.
Like, was it not okay by like the society of it all, your community? Did it feel not okay, or was it just like people didn't talk about
it? Just
being
it was a
gay?
different time, and it felt not okay. I think what younger people don't realize is that like even like 10-15 years ago, like 2009 2010, like people got bullied for that shit. Like I know they still do, but it's way more like accepted now. When I see high schoolers like talk about like, yeah, I'm bi or I'm fluid or whatever, and they're like totally open about it and so young, I'm like, wow, like times have changed. So like beautiful to see. And there was no shows about being gay. There was no like media like there is now. Like celebrities and pop stars weren't openly gay. All of that really has happened since I have left high school. High school, yeah.
So then and you always knew you were gay? Did you like, and not to like lead the witness in my questioning, but like I'm like, did you feel different? Did you feel like I'm different for this? Or were you like, I'm just not gonna like think about that part of myself?
Did I always know I was gay? No. The classic time of like when you go through puberty, like 13, 14, is when I really was like, oh, everyone around me is like talking about boys and like how cute they are, and like they kissed this boy at the movies the other night. And I'm kind of like, okay, like maybe, yeah, sure, he's cute, but I just thought maybe I wasn't I hadn't like caught up to their speed yet.
Yeah.
But then, believe it or not, I kind of like fell in love with my best friend.
I feel like that's a classic story.
Yeah, I had this friend in like 7th and 8th grade, bestie. We were like down the shore one summer. She had a shore house at the Jersey Shore, and I had a beer for the first time. It was literally a can of Bud Light.
I knew it was gonna be Bud Light.
And we were on the beach, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe like I'm drinking beer with like these high schoolers. I was I think going into 9th grade, and I was just like, oh, I'm so cool.
Yeah.
But then I drank the beer, and then I don't know, I just like had this thought. I was like, do I have a crush on my friend? Like,
oh my God.
I was just kind of like, and like she also was being like touchy and flirty, and like we were just having fun, but I was like, wait, I feel weird about this. Like this feels different. I've never felt like this before. Maybe it's just because I'm so wasted off this one beer that I drank.
And you were.
I don't know. I was like, I kind of want to like kiss my friend. Like I just remember having that thought of like, oh, that was weird and like scary.
But you didn't act on it?
No. Oh,
Oh,
my
you
God,
just had the
no.
thought. You had the thought.
Just
but
had
that was
the
it.
thought.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was the first time I was like, oh, okay. And then I think from there, I was like really freaked out by that, and I like continued to feel
That you had a crush.
feeling. We did end up kissing. And
So-
that was my first kiss with a girl.
Oh, and the feelings were mutual.
The feelings were mutual.
Oh, that's
after
a
all of
happy
that.
ending.
Yeah, she was like, wait, I don't even know how the conversation happened. I don't know, it was very like juvenile, like, wait,
Yeah.
I like you, you like me too. I was like at her house hanging out one day after school, and it was just, we were getting very cozy. But again, I was just still like, you have to realize, like, I was terrified of the feelings I was having.
Yeah.
I thought there was something wrong with me. And
Yeah.
I just like, I did not want to be gay. And that is so sad now because like I love being gay and I'm so proud of it. But back then I just like so badly wanted to fit in and I didn't want to be different.
Yeah.
And it was just so terrifying that I was just like, I remember I would like pray at night that I would not be gay and that I wouldn't like this person.
Damn.
I was like, maybe this is just like this one person. And like I would still like hook up with guys, like make out and like just try so hard to do that and be normal.
Yeah.
But then one day I was hanging out at her house after school. We like said goodbye and I was like on her porch. We lived really close to each other, so I like rode my bike. So I like remember going down to get my bike, and then I like turned around.
She's
and,
on
like,
your bike.
No, she's actually fully on the bike now. It was very like movie, like turned around and like ran back up and just like started kissing and like making out.
Wait, I love this.
Yeah, and then I was just like, oh my God. But like she was loving it and I was loving it. But then I got on my bike and started biking home and I started freaking out.
Adrenaline.
Oh my God, I thought I was gonna throw up.
Yeah.
It was the worst and best feeling of my life.
Yeah.
If I wasn't like confused before, I was now like, oh my God, I actually like took this next step and I literally feel sick. So that just started a whole, I don't know, opened a can of worms for me.
Well,
and then it was just, high school was weird. But to tie this back into I think like the community that I was finding in music.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can attach it directly to like my closeted queerness, but I think some of it was that, especially in like the hardcore punk community. It's a lot of like, I don't know, like outcasts or like supporting people that are different, accepting people and no judgment. You know, there's like an aggression and like an anger to that, but it's not really about that. It's just about like expression. And I don't know, there was a lot of acceptance and cool people.
It's like you kind of like get
it was very organic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I didn't go looking for it. It kind of just like happened to me. And maybe that's because I again like grew up in this like kind of boring town where like that's what people did was like go to these like shows.
But also that's not, I mean, I have to imagine that where you grew up was very similar to where I grew up.
Yeah.
Because the same shit was happening, but there was like different paths. The very sportsy path where you can get really into sports.
Yeah.
Like there is that. And then there's also like the other kids that got into the music that were then doing the shows at the VAs, going to the city and seeing different bands. Like there's like different, it's not everyone in every town wasn't doing the same thing. So obviously you gravitated towards that.
Definitely.
Obviously your sister was influential in a way.
Yeah, my sister showed me a lot of that.
So when you kind of were like, okay, I'm potentially queer, struggling through those feelings in high school and stuff, did you feel like there was a point in high school or college or after where you were like, no, like I accept me for who I am?
Yeah. Probably like immediately when I went to college.
You're like,
and left my hometown.
Yeah.
Because again, I didn't really know any gay people. Towards the end of my senior year, I had a girlfriend. It was a long distance girlfriend that I met on Tumblr. Tumblr was really the first like social media platform, at least that I remember, like where I found a lot of cool
music. No? Porn?
Music, but I was gonna say cool lesbian.
Well, it's like, where were you supposed to meet them?
Yeah, like
coollesbian.com? No, Tumblr.
Exactly, yeah. The models for lesbianism in media that I was served was like Ellen DeGeneres, Nothing Like Me.
Yeah.
And like Rosie O'Donnell.
T.
But that was like really it. So that also was like such a mind fuck because I'm like, I'm not like these people. So I was like, I can't be gay because I'm not like
because I'm not Ellen DeGeneres.
But the first time I found like other lesbians that were like that I could see myself in was on Tumblr.
Yeah.
And it was just people my age. I was like, oh, okay, I can like see myself in these people. And that in itself made me feel better and like I wasn't alone. And then I found like a Tumblr lesbian.
Did you guys ever hang out IRL?
We did. Yes, we did hang out IRL.
How did you do that?
Oh my god.
Did you drive somewhere to like meet up?
Do you know this story?
I don't think so.
So a lot of my friends, again, this is my senior year of high school, a lot of my friends from high school were the year older than me. So most of them were like experiencing freshman year of college. I had a friend that went to Fairleigh Dickinson, which is in New Jersey, not very far from where I grew up. I would go and visit her a bunch her freshman year because it was just like fun and she was my best friend and I was like, you're in college.
Like so much cooler.
Yeah, like let's hang out. I told my parents like multiple times that I was going to visit my friend at college. And I would instead drive like 7 hours to Rochester.
Girl.
And no one would know. And I ripped the Easy Pass off their car so and paid in cash.
Oh, the tolls.
For all my tolls, I paid in cash. My gas, I paid in cash. Like, I wanted no paper trail of where I was going.
This is wild.
Yeah, I lived a complete, like, double life.
Wait, but did your parents know also that you were gay at this point?
No.
Okay.
No one did.
Not only did you... So you hadn't come out...
Some friends knew.
Okay. Cool.
Or some friends knew I, like, had this, like... Girlfriend, yeah. But I still was like, I'm bi. Like, I don't know what's going on.
So then you guys are meeting up. You're driving 7 hours.
Yeah, I'm driving 7 hours to Rochester. Literally staying at like a Motel 6.
You are not.
Yeah.
Also paying in cash.
It was like $70 a night.
Where are you getting this cash, by the way? You had a job?
I did have a job. I really don't know where I got all this cash.
What was your job?
I worked at a bakery. It was not fun.
Yeah.
It was bad. I was like filling cannolis all day. The Italian bakery. This is the job where they never learned my name and they just called me Lady. Have I ever told you about this?
No.
Yeah, I worked there for like a year and the owners were like this Italian family and they never learned my name. So they would just call me, hey, Lady. I'd be like, yeah. I started responding to Lady. And then I was like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
So maybe I had some money from that. But yeah, we're not, I mean, again, this is like a Motel 6. It was literally like $50. I was probably splitting it with her.
Yeah, true.
The tolls were, a couple bucks.
Yeah. Well, so whatever. You're in Rochester. Did you guys like break up or were you like, I'm going to go to Syracuse so we can be together anyway?
Yeah. So this is the crazy part. She was applying to schools as well. She got into a college in New York. She was going to school in New York and I was going to school in upstate New York.
But so your love couldn't survive that.
Well, we
distance.
tried.
Yeah.
And we quite literally like switched places
because
of the schools we were going to. So it was like the same bullshit of like, I would get on the megabus in Syracuse, New York.
Megabus is such dark times for me.
Yeah, take a bus to New York City, like stay with her. Again, fully secretive, like not telling my parents or like my friends where I was.
Yeah.
Which was also just like such a miserable existence. Looking back, it's just, wow, just not a good time.
Yeah.
A lot of lying. And again, like we talked about me like not being that type of person and not lying. And I lied to mom's face, my dad's face, like the people I loved the most in the world because I was just like so afraid of like not being loved or like it was just really like sad. And then that eventually caught up to me and I had like kind of a mental breakdown about it when I was in school. Yeah. The very beginning of my freshman year, I remember calling my sister who she lived in the city at the time. I told her like I told her everything that was happening and I was like, I need to come home. I need to tell mom and dad. I've been lying for all these years.
Well, how did she react?
My sister?
Yeah.
She was fine with it. I think she was like a little overwhelmed, but oh my God, fine with it. Granted, I was like hitting her with a lot of
A lot of
You know,
things.
there was a lot going on. I like took a bus, like not, I don't want to say like in the middle of the night, but it was like late at night. I got on a bus, went to New York, and then my sister met me, and we got on a train back to New Jersey to my parents' house. And
What is this, like October, November, like
September.
September. So you literally were
I
1
had-
month into school,
I had been at school for maybe like 3 weeks.
and you were like, I need to say something.
Yeah. I just
You had
couldn't
to
do it anymore.
Yeah.
What really broke me was I was in my dorm room one night and doing like a Zoom, or what did we have at that time? Skype, doing an uvu. Do you remember that? I was like video chatting my parents, just kind of like as freshmen do, like the first few weeks of school, and they were just like, what'd you do this weekend? Like, are you meeting friends? And like in my head, I was like, I was in New York this weekend with my secret girlfriend. I would just tell my parents, like, it was great. I did all these things on campus and met these people. I would like just like made up stories. And I remember hanging up that call and just like crying my eyes out. It was so hard. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, this is terrible. So that's when I was just like, I'm going back. And I met up with my sister. She called my mom and dad and was like, hey guys, don't be alarmed, but I'm with Blair. She's in the city. We're coming home. She just like has to talk to you guys or something.
Yeah.
I don't know how she phrased it.
So
but
your parents
like,
are obviously immediately freaking the fuck out.
Yeah, I think my parents were just like, what? Like, I remember when I got home, like, I think my mom knew or like had a feeling about what was going on. That whole night happened, and it was like very, very, very hard. I like kind of sat my family around and told them everything, and I was crying.
Yeah.
And it was really dark.
But they were accepting.
They were accepting. I think they weren't accepting of the fact that I was like dating this stranger from the internet.
Yeah, no, T.
And I was very like, you guys don't get it. I think like they didn't love that, and they didn't love that I was like in a relationship.
Like with someone in New York when you're like in Syracuse. And,
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. Like I think it was coming from a place of like, we want you to like experience
college
life.
And
like we don't want you to be like distracted or kind of just like
it's a bigger thing, but like it's just like any parent seeing their kid going to college with the high school girlfriend. You're like, no, I want you to like go to college, experience college, experience life there, like start, like don't close yourself off to friendships and people and things because of that. I mean, it's bigger than that, but it's that
100%. And it was just like coming from experience. I think they were like, okay, you're dating this person, but I don't want you to like think like, I don't want you to give up all these amazing experiences that you're gonna happen to you because of this person that like you just met. Which I get. At the time I was like so pissed.
Obviously.
Oh my god, I was pissed off.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't understand. I'm gonna marry this woman. Yeah, no, and then they obviously came around to it, and they're the best, and they love me so much.
I just hate
and they love Emma so much.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't?
I know, but like they really love her, and I love her.
I love her too. I'm just like, it makes me so annoyed that you even have to go through that and have that coming out experience, whereas like I didn't have that. Like it's just so like stupid that people have to have that.
I know.
And also then get met with anything other than love.
Yeah, I know.
It makes me so upset.
Yeah, it's not cool. It makes me happy now to see like that there is so much like queer representation in media and in music, and it just like makes me so happy and like emotional to think about that, because it's just like, oh god, like if only I had that when I was younger. Like it makes such a huge difference. I know I'm sure it's still hard for a lot of people, especially in states that aren't New Jersey or New York, or like in these like more liberal areas of the country. But,
I mean, totally. Or just with parents
really,
that
really,
suck.
really upsetting.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's really intense. I mean, I can't even imagine. Like, I felt different than people that I grew up around. I can't even imagine, like, there being more to it than me just, like, wearing a lot of skulls and being mad.
Like, I know. Sometimes I think about, like, there are people that, like, hate me that don't even know you. Yeah.
I think like that's so crazy. It's like to even
so
think
sad.
It's to even, I mean, there was a TikTok I reposted the other day that was like, you hate people for being gay, you're gay. That's the only solution here. You're scared of yourself.
Yeah,
And it's like,
internalized
yeah,
homophobia.
literally that's
It's
it.
real.
Like I don't understand how you could hate someone for something that's like that, or just like from for where people could be from.
It all comes from fear, like deep
Yeah, no, I
fear
know, because
in
of someone
other
being different
people.
than you. Yeah.
Or just like, you know, the religion aspect of it all, or just scaring the shit out of people so they stay in line.
Which
It's
is
like
so
really
spooky town.
rude.
No,
but yeah,
but
now I'm like so happy about
just
who
being
I am.
gay
Yeah, like I love it. I don't really
and
like,
being in music.
yeah, I'm really like living the life that I know that the scared little teen would be like so proud of.
Yeah.
And that makes me so happy.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's really, really sick.
Yeah, like 14-year-old me would look at who I am now and be like, oh my God.
Yeah. But also, I guess, like, one of the things that I've been thinking a lot about, and I was talking to my friend Nicole about this a few days ago, too, it's like, I feel like it's really easy for me to always move the goalpost for myself and be like, okay, I accomplished this, but what's next? What's that? But, like, or even just, like, I was walking around a few weeks ago in Berlin being like, oh my God, me 2 years ago, I would have killed for the life I have now, just like having friends, like genuine friends, and like really good, like in Berlin, and feeling at home in this new place. But I'm already thinking about like, well, what am I doing next? What are these other things? Like, if you keep moving the goalposts, it's really easy to never really be happy. But like to look back and reflect and be like, wait, this younger version of myself would be fucking stoked.
Yeah, it's so important to do that. Like, I'm the same way. I think I was like that for a long time, just like chasing the next thing.
Yeah.
But you gotta just slow down for a second
Yeah.
and just be so proud of yourself and give yourself grace of like, you did it.
Yeah.
All the times you were like, oh my God, this is terrible, or like just scared of things. It's like, you did it.
Yeah.
And like,
and you're gonna get through it again the next time you're scared.
Again. Yeah. And I always say to myself, like, at the end of the day, like, I am the only person that's like, how do I describe this? I have to think about it. Like, I'm kind of like alone in this life in a way. Yeah,
because you only person
you know what I'm trying to say?
The only person you live your whole life with is yourself.
And I got myself here.
Yeah.
By myself.
Yeah.
Not to say like,
well, no, that one lady.
that one lady who gave me a job interview.
Yeah.
But not to say like the support of, you know, friends and family and those experiences, but like maybe it's more so like the decisions I've made myself. Like, I have to learn to trust myself in making those decisions, because I've always been able to figure it out no matter what. You can look at a situation 18 million ways and be scared of which road you're going to take. Whatever road you take, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
And you're going to figure it out.
Each decision you make is not the final decision. Things can always, like, it's like,
it ebbs and flows.
And things like take you to here, to here, to here, to here. And like sometimes you just need to look 5 feet in front of you instead of 50 feet.
Yeah.
But
which is hard. It's easier said than done.
Totally. And it is easy to have like the decision paralysis of like, I don't want to make the wrong decision.
Yeah. Definitely still like afraid of failure.
Well,
and I
think
it comes from that.
Yeah. And I think one of the other things too that like we talked with Emma about on the podcast, and how like she wanted to like pivot, and you guys were going to like potentially try to move to London. But now, not that that's completely off the table, but just that one of the things you were deciding between, like, yeah, like you could probably have gotten any job from any of the people you were meeting with when you were in London last, like, but like, is that what you actually want?
Yes.
Like, is that the right decision? And it's like just sitting with it and being like, maybe not right now, maybe, but like knowing that the reason you're making that choice isn't out of scarcity mindset, isn't out of because you're scared. It's because you're like, no, what I want from my life genuinely is this level of, you know, work, salary, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I want
it's
balance.
Not being scared.
Yeah, exactly.
Into a decision.
Exactly.
Or scared to like change.
Yeah. Is there some of that tied
obviously.
into it? Absolutely.
Obviously.
Because I think, again, like fear of failure. Also, like, I don't know how well I handle like a lot of change at once. I think change is super healthy, but
but not for me.
I just don't. I just don't think I handle it like great. I think I get spooked.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
A whole life upheaval moment when you're not 100% feeling like it's right and aligned with you is a completely different situation.
At this stage in my life, I want to be very like purposeful in my moves.
Thoughtful.
Yeah, thoughtful. And
you are.
Yeah, if I do move to London, which I still would love to do, I want it to feel good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want it to feel like forced, or I just don't want that.
I understand that. I completely do. And I think that's the best way to go about it.
Yeah.
I think most of the decisions that I could say maybe weren't the best ones for me. I would never say it's the wrong decision, because I think everything you do has ended me here. But I definitely like went to college, and that was not the right school for me, and I forced it. I stayed there. I forced it in terms of like the friendships I made, and like joining the sorority that I was maybe wasn't for me, but like did anyway. Like that felt very forced because I felt like I had to make it work. I don't think like I obviously ended up doing really cool shit because of the decision I made, but like I think in hindsight's 2020, maybe I should have gone to school in the city. Maybe I could have done that, but I would never regret what I did.
Yeah.
I just think like the forcing of it, and as you grow up, you feel that gut feeling of like, oh, is this forced? Is this the right thing for me? And like, moving to Berlin, like that never felt like that felt insane to say to people, and people were literally like, why? Like literally some of my friends from high school's parents were like, but I don't get it.
Yeah.
Germany? Do you know German? Do you know anyone in Germany? It's like, no.
Yeah.
And no. And for some reason, I feel like this gut feeling that I need to do this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't forceful. It just kind of happened.
And you know that forced feeling.
Yeah.
Because you experienced that.
Yeah.
And like when you feel it again in life, like you know it. It's easily identifiable.
Yeah. As you grow and you have that, you get closer to your intuition. I think that's important.
Yeah. All of that stuff teaches you to be like, okay, I know myself. I know what I want. I know what I don't want.
I want to ask you the question that I've asked everyone else at the end of the podcast, which is that if you go back to any point of your life where you needed to hear it, how old would you be, and what would you say to that version of yourself?
Oh, wow. I would probably be 15-year-old Blair. I would tell her that no one is going to hate you for being yourself, and all the things that you're into are really cool, and they're what make you you, and everything's gonna be okay.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. You crying?
No. One of my takeaways from this conversation with Blair is like things that we both talked about. I think it doesn't really matter if what you want to do makes sense to anyone else. Like it just needs to make sense to you. Like who you are just needs to make sense to you. How you show up in the world just needs to make sense to you. It doesn't need to make sense to anybody else. Like if you're following your gut and you're doing like what you really feel is right, it doesn't matter if no one gets it. Like I hope everyone feels the way that Blair feels every day going to fucking work, or like hanging out with the people that she gets to hang out with. Me hanging out with her and just being like completely inspired by her, being inspired to be a better version of myself because I'm hanging out with her. Like, I hope everyone is spending time with people that fill them up, energetically fill them up with like inspiration. I think that is the most valuable thing you can be doing with your time, is surrounding yourself with people that not only fuck with you, but like are your biggest cheerleaders and make you a better version of you. Be around people that inspire you. Be around people that like set your world on fire. Like that is so important. It's so good. And like follow those gut feelings. Like even if it doesn't make sense, you know what I mean? Even if hanging out with people like, you're like, wow, I wouldn't normally be friends with that person. I wouldn't normally be friends with that, blah, blah, blah. Like, doesn't need to make sense. Just do what feels right. The other thing that we kind of touch on, but like in Emma's episode from a few months ago, like Emma and Blair were originally trying to move to London. We touched on it in this episode a bit with Blair. Like you can change your mind at any point in your life. Like you can pivot, you can want to move to London and then decide like, wait, that actually doesn't feel right now, but I could do that later. Like you can literally do anything at any point, and it feeds into that same thing. It doesn't need to make sense to anyone else. Like, oh, well, you told me you were doing this. Like you told me you were moving to London, but now you're not. Yeah, people change their minds. You can pivot. Like it's your life. You get to do what you want to do. And I hope that you feel like you're surrounding yourself with people that make you feel like you can do what you want to do and you are a better version of you and doing the things you want to do every day. That's how I feel. And yeah, thank you again for listening, as always. And I hope you have a beautiful week.